بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum, excellencies and highnesses, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. On behalf of Dr. Jamal Sanad al-Suwaidi, Director General, Emirates Center for Strategic Studies and Research, I would like to welcome you all today in a symposium titled The Scourge of Fake Academic Degrees. Now we will listen to the welcoming remarks of His Excellency Professor Jamal Sanad al-Suwaidi. Will be read on behalf with Ms. Amal. Please, the floor is yours.
بسم الله الرحمن.
Peace be upon you all, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum. If I may, please, I would like to welcome you all here with us at the Emirates Center for Strategic Studies and Research, and thank you very much for participating with us here in this symposium, which has a great impact to our society. We will discuss a dangerous scourge which represent dangers to our society and community, fake academic degrees. They depict some sort of danger to our nations. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know faking academic degrees is not a new topic, but being determined to follow up and terminate this scourge is important to us because it represents and depicts lie and immoral, and it is against our religious standards. It is also a waste of resources and destruction to the public and private properties. So we together, we need to stand up against it, and we need to put some dissuasive sanctions and penalties against anyone who attempts to fake the academic degree. Ladies and gentlemen, we have gathered here today in this symposium which hosts many distinguished guests. They all will speak about the importance of fighting fake academic degrees, both legally and morally. In addition, those fake academic degrees, they are standing against equality among others, and they also help others to profiteer from using them into being a decision making which will lead at the end to the destruction of our communities, and it will take us back to the very beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, one of the most dangerous aspects of this faking academic degree is not only limited to arts, but it is extending to medical degrees as well. So when somebody is practicing medicine, that doctor is controlling our lives. So imagine if he's doing it based on a fake academic degree. Also the engineer, imagine if they have fake academic degrees. Therefore, I think he will destroy all that we have built. So the results of fake academic degrees are catastrophic, not only on the community, but also on losing lives, properties. And in order to eliminate this phenomenon, we need to stand together as a community. So 02504428, if you call this and send to Tazwir at ECSSR.ae, you can report to us any fake academic degree that you might encounter in your life. So you all know the danger, you all know its risk, and it is widespreading in our community, and it destroys our present and future as well. And also it eliminates any fair competition in the market. And therefore, it will stand against the development of our society. It will also stand against our expertise. So we need to stand together as authorities and individuals before it widely spread in our Gulf countries and before it hinders us from developing and foreseeing our future. So again, welcome you. I would like to welcome you all, and I hope you all get the well-being and success in your endeavors. Thank you very much.
كل الشكر والتقدير.
Thank you very much, His Excellency Professor Jamal Al-Suwaidi, for his words. Now the keynote will be addressed by His Excellency Dr. Khamis bin Saleh Al-Blushi, Director General of the Gulf Network for Quality Assurance and Higher Education, the Sultanate of Oman. Please, the floor is yours.
Bismillah ar-Rahman.
Good morning, my brothers. Professor Jamal Sanad Al-Suwaidi, Director General of Emirates Center for Strategic Studies and Research. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow scholars, good morning. First of all, I would like to extend my warmest and sincerest gratitude for the ECSSR for hosting me in this scientific symposium in order for all of us to study and discuss an important topic that touches the GCC countries and the Arab world in general and all humanity. As you know, we as a human, we what make this world moves. Lest I forget, I would like also to extend the ECSSR for their accomplishments during the past 25 years since the inception of this great center. So for 25 years you've been prosperous. Thank you very much. And thank you again, and I hope you all the best of success and well-being. First of all, I would like to start my keynote. Will be for 30 minutes. I will try to cover the most important topics. As you can see at the screen, this is Scourge, for example. I do not want just to say things about those people, but this thing exists among the social media websites. As you see, this person, I will not say a human with all due respect, but this man we can find everywhere. Sometimes we see him a barber, sometimes he's a painter, sometimes he's a laboratory and a doctor, etc. There are many people like this person. Many people like this person, they seek to seize an opportunity or a vulnerability, if I may call them. Those vulnerabilities, they exist in our laws. So such as this symposium here and today, we will all try together to put an end to this phenomenon. Ladies and gentlemen, we talk a lot about higher education. We talk about the future. We talk about development, innovation, etc. But from my point of view, there is one thing that we have missed to talk about, which is the main basic principle that builds our society. It is the basis, as I said. If the basis is not strong, if it's not strengthened, then there is no point in reaching the top. No one will reach the top because the basis is weak. In my keynote, I shed light on the role of individuals, family, school, society. Why do I concentrate on this? Because I see that there is a glitch coming from the basis, from our foundations. As per the Prophet saying, he said, each one of you will be taking care of himself and his family. So we are all responsible for taking care. We as fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers, we all responsible. What is this responsibility? The responsibility should be in respecting the law, should be respecting and being morals. We talk about future, we talk about development, but it is sad to say there is no future and development without morals, because morals help our community grow. So as a start, from the very seconds that we are born, when that small kid, when he sees that no one's taking care about the morals of this kid, when he goes to school, when the teacher or might ask him to do a small research for school, this kid, when he goes home with his homework with him, he seeks help or assistance from his parents or sisters or brothers, and there lies the problem. So this man responsible at the home, the father or the mother, this father or the mother does not have much time to just assist. He makes the homework for him. This is a problem. But if that same father directed his kid, guided him to do the homework alone, to work hard, even if it's weak, but it is something that he's done it. But we shouldn't do it for him as parents, just to succeed. So here starts our problem. The problem starts growing from this point. This kid becomes dependent on his parents and brothers, and the morals, the professional morals, are done. I will not speak too much about the family aspect, but I wanted to start with it because I think this is ground zero for us. Morals at home, they affect greatly when it comes to tackling this scourge. The scourge of faking academic degrees. We hear a lot about it. It has developed and evolved as technology evolved and as the time passes on, and the rapid movement behind those technology, and we use those technologies sometimes wrong and without morals. So personally, I call this scourge a cancer for community. It is a cancer for community. God forbids. If a cancer hits the human body, if it does not kill him, if it does not kill the human, it deforms and kills many aspects of his. So he becomes a dying, live being. So God forbids. We all know the cancer and what happens. If cancer hits the body, it moves from one organ to another. We struggle if we see someone suffering from cancer. The same happens to community, and therefore this is a cancer to community. So as you know, there are many types of degrees. We have the fake degrees. So the fake degrees, we all know about them. They are attributed to be issued from accredited university, but in reality, it is not. So what happens in this case, the faking or the forging in attestation, etc. We have the shell degrees issued from a shell university that does not really exist. You can find that all over the internet nowadays. We have the online universities and we have shell online universities. With all due respect to online universities, but many sick people, they profited and exploited this to their own use. We have the diploma mills. Those are commercial university institutions aiming to financial gain. So those commercial education institutions, they limit our development. Those universities, they give certificates of a graduation without even having to study sometimes. You just pay money and you get your certificates. There are many cases of faking. There is education faking, such as forging the attestation or the education qualification, or all of them together. The stamps and seals are being faked, faking data and table of records, plagiarism in master's degrees and PhDs as well. The reason why this phenomenon is successful is due to the following reasons. Those are only examples. We have three categories: personal reasons, institutional, and global. The personal reasons are coming from the immorality or the lack of religious and faith and legal principles. The desire for financial gain. Here I would like to take the opportunity to say multiple things, in particular in the very beginning of in the early stages of our lives. I cannot sit with a kid and tell him this is prohibited and this is religiously not acceptable. I cannot tell the kid that. We need to do it in practice. We need to talk to him once and twice and a million times. And throughout the practice and through action, this kid will see what his parents and brothers are doing and he will do the same. So when we said, when the brother or the sister, when he assists his little kids about the research, this action is unacceptable. We need to guide him not to do it on his behalf. Also the financial gain, promotion. So when promotion at work is linked to the scientific certificate, this is a problem somehow. In the GCC, if you pardon me, in the GCC, we see that a lot sometimes. I cannot be a director general of a certain company only if I have a scientific education certificate. You know, adding the word PhD before your name does not give you great importance as an individual, but it happens still. And this is a danger to our community. Also, there is another reason, which is the desire to obtain a scientific title, just to have, some social respect amongst our community. If I may take another minute about this point, this is a true story and it happened in a Gulf country. A man went to marry a girl. So he wanted to be respected by the family of that girl. So he faked his academic degree that he is a full professor. He brought fake names of universities. When that girl's family saw that he is a professor, they welcomed him dearly and they accepted him as a husband to their daughter. But unfortunately, later on in their life, they've known that all these academic degrees are faked. So this man's family was brought to destruction because his wife discovered his lying. So this is a catastrophe. We have the second category, the institutional reasons. It happens because of the lack of supervision or weakness in supervision. And even sometimes the employee himself cannot find the sufficient time to study, so they fake it. The lack of media articles about this phenomenon. So the media, they have a great role in this phenomenon. If I'm taking too long, just tell me that. The media, as I said, the media should talk about this more and more. The absence of legal procedures and inapplicability of penalizing those who are faking. We have global reasons as well, such as the high cost for study, the widespread of advertisements and bribery, which is a great deal here. Why this phenomenon is so successful? Because there is a widespread of high education and general education services offices, and they are being misused. This does not occur, I think, in the GCC, but if a GCC citizen went abroad to study, so some of those students, because of the conflicts around the world, those students of conflicted countries, they come to the Gulf country citizen, they come to him and tell him, pay us $100, for example, and we will give you a certificate. This is problem. The internationally taken measures, the first talked about this phenomenon and had a criteria for, as Chia, the UNESCO talked about it first. Then after that came the UK. The UK had a law, Educational Reform Act number 88. It was issued at the UK. And also in USA, the Diploma and Accreditation Integrity Protection Aid in the USA. We also have the European Union. They have a movement against this phenomenon. The GCC country now, Kuwait, so far are the first to tackle this phenomenon. It might be a little bit late, but all the GCC countries now are doing something about this in order to ensure the high quality of education. We have a Muscat Center for the Accreditation and Quality. We as a GCC countries, we have established or we've conducted the first panel, and many of my colleagues here have participated in that meeting or that panel. It was more like a wake-up call to everyone. And truly, we've seen a lot of the GCC countries participating, seeing this as a real problem and that we have to tackle it. And right now, Kuwait, as I said, they have started issuing a specific law criminalizes the faking of academic degrees. So now there is a law there. And anyone is discovered faking academic degree, his education certificate will not be equalized. Still, their new law needs a bit of refining. But this is a normal course of law. It is a circumstantial law. It needs more time to be polished and well established. We need to close all gaps that might be exploited by those criminals. After Kuwait, the UAE, they put in place a law. The law still in process, still not issued, and all the best of luck and success to the UAEs in this march. Also, I would like to notify the UAE also this institution, this center, this meeting, it shows us that the UAE is working hard and seriously to eliminate and exterminate this phenomena once and for all. For the rest of the GCC, they don't have a particular law tackling this problem. My time is up. Just give me 1 minute, please. Therefore, every single country has procedures, measures, but they are not laws. For example, Oman. In Oman, we do not have a specific law that criminalizes the fake academic degrees. It is just regulatory measures followed by the sectors. Bahrain and Saudi Arabia as well, they have measures. Faking a document. There is a law for criminalizing faking documents in general, but it is not specific to academic degree because there is contradiction. Some provisions of the law says felonies and misdemeanors and crime, so there are degrees for criminalization as well. There are many difficulties and challenges. In the next papers with my colleagues, they will talk about those things. There are suggestions to limit this phenomena. Security agencies, law enforcement, they should work against this as well. Faking academic degrees is a topic for the whole nation. It is not individual matters. We need to tackle it as a nation. A country will not grow unless there is a safe and sound educational system. Engineers, doctors, we need true ones, we don't need fake ones. So we need to punish and sanction everyone fakes a document, academic degrees in particular. Those criminals, they can exploit the education system in a certain country, and therefore the whole country will fall apart. So as of today, even if it's financially exhaustive, but still if we wait more, it will be more and more expensive. We have many suggestions that I can tell you, but in brief, I say at least we need to have a specific law tackles this phenomena. Without this law, we cannot do anything. So the law is the basis. We need a happy life, we need a prosperous life, therefore we need a law. Faking academic degree is national security. We need to do preventive measures, and we need to make higher education more of more quality. And in the end, the prosperity of morality is strong manner, so our manners are the basis to our society. In conclusion, the Higher Council for the GCC countries in their 33rd meeting emphasized on ensuring the private and the general sectors that they necessarily have to always double check the authenticity of academic degrees before accrediting them. So it should be obligatory, not just a necessity, to make sure those academic degrees. So necessity is a more general word, so we need more stronger words to have more obligation in it. This problem, again, as I said, is a dangerous and serious matter. So the word necessary needs to be changed in tackling this problem. We need it to be an obligation on everyone. And I wish you the best of luck, everyone. And excuse me if I took so long. Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency Dr. Khamis Al-Bluchi, for your keynotes. The second keynote will be given to us by Professor Badr Abul Ala, Advisor to the Minister of State for Higher Education, UAE. Please, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
Peace be upon you. Praise to our Lord Allah. Professor Jamal Al-Suwaidi, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, as a start, I would like to thank the Center for hosting me in this very important symposium. Dr. Khamis, before me, talked generally about the topic, but he saves me a great deal of time because I will try my best not to repeat what he said. Faking academic degrees is a corruption in higher education system. This we see in many countries, in many Arab countries. This phenomenon has spread in the institutions, and it shouldn't have been. The registration and approval of students, equality of certificates, researchers, faking the name of institutions and universities, and granting certificates, including faking the whole certificates. His Excellency Dr. Jamal have talked about that this is a global phenomenon and it has some devastating effects. And this leads us to stand up all together, as Dr. Khamis and Dr. Jamal has said before me. As Dr. Khamis also said, we need to talk more about it. And there are different types of certificates, fake, shill, or the mills. We need to tackle them all. And as Dr. Khamis said, the shill certificates are issued by commercial offices and commercial universities, and the name of the university included in that certificate does not exist in reality. The fake certificate, though, might have a name of a truly existing university, but the certificate itself is fake. So the student might have not attended to university, but he's just faking the certificate. About the other type of certificates, the certificate does not exist truly, the student does not study. Those certificates could be issued by many offices, and it happens a lot. The student does not go, for example, the foreign languages teaching institutions. There are many faking and certificates there as well. I will not talk more about the history, but this problem started at the late 19th century, and it started at the USA. And during the 20th century, this phenomenon has increased to reach a point where people started faking the veteran certificates. So those veterans used to fake certificates of a university that does not exist. After a while, and because of the new technologies, too many shell companies, too many fake institutions, they exist and they issue fake certificates to people. So we need to look after those offices, we need to close them down and end them. So I think it's very difficult sometimes to discover those offices, but we need to tackle this problem. What is published? The publication says that there are 2,500 institutions worldwide grant those fake degrees, and the number has increased for the period between 2015 and 2010. It increased 50%. The number of true PhD certificates granted in the USA are 40,000 certificates, but the fake PhD certificates in the USA are 50,000. What that means, 2 to 1, saying they have a PhD issued from the USA, one of those two has a fake document. This is really dangerous. In Beijing, we have more than 100 offices for the sale of academic degrees. This is a very profitable operation. It reaches 1 billion USD annual, where 200,000 certificates are being sold annually. I will not talk about the negatives and effects. Dr. Khamis have talked about them. Any person can be granted a certificate. They can enter the website diplomamakers.com and they can have whatever they need easily. In social media, we might have seen this picture. Nixon University, the BBC interview anchor woman obtained her degree from that university, so we can see this. You have the university of your own choice. This is something you can get any kind of certificate you want. Of the ads that we can see, one office said, "We guarantee quality in the formats of our diplomas." Another strange advertisement says, "Buy one, get one free." In reality, those things are serious. This is a 2-minute video. This office in the Philippines, any diploma you want, any certificate, you want a teacher, you want to be an engineer, anything you desire, you can get. As you can see, anything you want, you can get here. Doctor of Technology, as you can see, it's a diploma. Anything you desire. any sort of certificate, any sort of diploma, driver's license as well. 500 for the driving license, 500 pesos, this is 100 dirham. Certificate of marriage as well. This is the most important part of this certificate. They have faked this as well. I cannot make a video here. So in the Philippines, UAE, Qatar and Saudi Arabia, if you have a Philippine individual, do not accept their diploma because it's probably fake. One of the congressmen obtained a PhD for his cats. So you can have a PhD for any living being, human or animal. There is a list and it is published about the names of animals obtained PhDs. This is a dangerous thing. Anyone can get a certificate. How to deal and tackle this phenomena, Dr. Khamis might have tackled some issues, but let's start with general awareness. We need to publish in media the danger of this phenomena and its negative impact on individuals and communities. Also, we need to publish on the press media about not to deal with anyone faking documents. We have regulatory procedures and measures. We need to prohibit the appointment of any fake certificate holder, whether in the general or private sector. And the general and private sector, they need to make sure that those certificates are true. So Your Excellencies, the leaders of the GCC, we need really to look at this issue, to organize campaigns in the media about this phenomena. Legislative procedures are one of the most important procedures that must be taken. So we need to put advertisements, we need to put in place legislations and obligations on the institutions to make sure that their certificate is true. We need legislations that make sure to scrutinize those fake certificates. We need also legislation that criminalizes any office, any authority that issues a fake certificate. So the most importantly, we need to have those legislations in place and effective. We've seen many cases of fake certificates, but we need an effective law. Dr. Khamis talked about some countries that have taken some procedures. South Africa, for example, and last August, they have issued a law and it states that to expose and label those people holding certificates, and anyone convicted shall be imprisoned. In Kuwait, Dr. Khamis have talked about their law number 78 for 2019. So Kuwait, it is not only a law issued this year, and this law does not only talk about fake certificates, but it also talks about the equivalency of certificates. Some certificates, they are true, they are correct, but they are issued from universities that are not accredited by the country. So the Kuwaiti law criminalized this case as well, whether the certificate, whether there is unemployment, whether using scientific titles in social media as well. There are provisions of that law stipulates this. The UAE's Penal Code, in Article 216, it defines forgery. If the forger or the fraudulent act and the frauds and the forged document has happened, practically or theoretically, it is criminalized. Articles 2017 and 217 bis from the UAE law has punished anyone conducting an act of forgery in official documents, or even if they faked the copy of an original document. Dr. Khamis has said the UAE are in the process of issuing a specific law tackling fake academic degrees. Fourth, regional, local and international cooperation. So we need to report any office issuing fake documents. We need to exchange information between all agencies about those holders of fake academic degrees. Me personally, some of the employees here in the UAE, they are holders of fake certificates, and we have decided to fire those holders. But still, I found the very same people working in another Gulf country. So who knows? We need to criminalize them, imprison them, and not just letting them go. Develop an employment system. When we do the employment, we base our decision of employment on the certificates. So we need to develop the employment system. We need to look at skills and expertise more than we look at certificate itself. So we need to increase those systems and enhance those systems. Another thing I would like to note, the certificates issued by a low-level university. The certificate, yes, it's true, but the level of the university is somehow low, and the certificate should not be equalized. In this country, Dr. Hassan might talk about this later on, but we need to look about those certificates issued from those universities, and we need to take it into consideration. Another thing, the institutional's accreditation institution. So it's not just a higher education shell or fake university. There are authorities, there are agencies accrediting those certificates, and this institution accrediting this certificate is Shell itself, and we have 170 around the world, and mostly they work in working with Shell universities. We have issued a list. This is the list, and we have shared with the higher education institutions. We told them don't deal with those in the list. Who is responsible for fighting fake accreditations? The government is first, the legal institutions, quality institutions, higher education, and professionals. So it is a collaborative work. Thank you very much.
كل الشكر.
Thank you, dearly Professor Badr Abul Ala. Now we will leave you for a 10 minutes break. After that we will